We all use money every day, right? I mean, it's kind of hard not to think about whether it's grabbing groceries or, planning for that big trip you want to take someday. But have you ever stopped and really thought about what money actually is? Like, what is this stuff we're always chasing?
It's easy to get lost in the day-to-day, isn't it? The bills, the paychecks, the investments. But on this deep dive, we're going back to basics. We're going to strip it all back and explore the very foundation of money itself.
We're going to be taking a deep dive into money basics, understanding what money is and how it works.
That's right, and we really want to help you understand not just what money is, but also where it comes from and how it all works.
The source material actually starts with this really interesting point about bartering. Like, imagine trying to trade, I don't know, your old textbook for for a cool new toy.
Yeah, there's that awkward moment when the person you're trying to trade with is like, I don't really need a textbook. Thanks, though.
Exactly. And the source points out that this, bartering, was actually how people initially handled things. Like trading extra food for tools or animals for services.
Right, it was a direct exchange of goods and services. But as you can imagine, it wasn't exactly efficient. Like, what if the person with the tools you need doesn't want your apples?
Yeah, talk about inconvenient. I can't imagine running around town with a basket of apples trying to, barter my way to a haircut.
Yeah, that's where money steps in.
Yeah.
It basically solved this double coincidence of wants problem. Instead of needing to find someone who both has what you want and wants what you have, money became this universally accepted medium of exchange.
And as societies evolved, so did money. The text reminds us that most countries develop their own specific currencies. You have the US dollar, the euro, and a whole bunch of others out there.
Each with its own history and value tied to that particular country's economy.
And when we think about money, I think most of us immediately picture coins and bills, right? The source breaks this down into three main types of money, starting with coins. Those are the small, usually metal discs we use for, smaller purchases.
And they're not just boring pieces of metal. I mean, look at them. They often feature images of important figures or symbols that represent something about that country.
I always find myself checking out the details on coins from different places. It's like a mini history lesson in your pocket. Then there's paper money or bills, which we tend to use for bigger purchases. I love how they're so lightweight and easy to carry around.
They've really evolved over time, too. I mean, think about the materials, special paper, and now even some are made of that durable plastic. It's all designed to improve their lifespan and security.
And the designs can be so intricate. The text mentions how diverse bills look from one country to another. It's really fascinating.
Yeah, and all those details, those tiny lines, the different textures, they're not just for aesthetics. It's about making them harder to counterfeit, harder for people to create fake versions.
Oh, that's right. The source talks about security features embedded in those bills, like those little strips you can see, and even watermarks that are only visible under certain light. It's pretty impressive when you think about it.
It's like a hidden language designed to protect the integrity of the currency. Then, of course, you have the third type of money that the text explains, digital money. This is where things get really interesting because it exists purely as electronic data.
This is like the money stored on our credit and debit cards or in those payment apps on our phones. It's what allows us to buy things online without ever exchanging physical cash.
It's money without a tangible form, yet it holds real value. It can be transferred instantly across borders, used for transactions big and small.
It really changes how we interact with money, doesn't it? I mean, think about how much we do online now. It's incredible. Speaking of interacting with money, the source has this little activity that encourages you to take a moment to actually look at the money you have on hand and really study those designs and details.
I love that. It makes you appreciate something we often take for granted. It's a good reminder of the history and security that are woven into those everyday objects.
It's almost like a little treasure hunt. So now we know what money is, at least in its various forms, but how do we actually get it? The source is very clear. It doesn't magically appear.
That's right. You don't just wake up one morning with a pile of cash. Well, unless you win the lottery, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The text emphasizes that money is earned. It's about providing value in some way, whether through your skills, your time, or your creations.
And it outlines a few key ways people earn money. One of the most common is through jobs. Adults work in all sorts of fields, from offices to construction sites, from creating products to providing services.
And they receive money in return for their work. This is the most prevalent way money circulates within an economy, people trading their time and skills for income.
And then you have people who start their own businesses. The source talks about entrepreneurs who create and sell things like clothing, food, or even software. It's about taking an idea and turning it into something valuable that others are willing to pay for.
It's about identifying a need or a want in the market and then finding a way to fill it. It's a huge driver of innovation and economic growth.
And it's not just limited to adults. Even kids can get in on the action. The text mentions that children can earn money by doing chores around the house.
Exactly. Things like washing dishes, walking the dog, or helping with yard work. It's a great way for kids to learn about the value of hard work and start developing a sense of responsibility.
It's a good way to introduce them to that connection between effort and reward, even if it's just a small allowance. And of course, the source also acknowledges another way we get money as gifts.
Right, whether it's for birthdays, holidays, or just because gifts of money are definitely a common occurrence.
Yeah. It's not earned in the traditional sense, but it still represents a flow of funds. To make this idea of earning even more concrete, the source tells a little story about a girl named Mia who really wanted a new bike.
She didn't just sit around wishing for it, though. She took the initiative and started looking for ways to earn the money herself.
Yeah, she started walking dogs and watering plants for her neighbor, saving up her earnings bit by bit. It's a really inspiring example of setting a financial goal and then working towards it.
And the source challenges us, the listeners, to do the same, to think about ways we could earn money, even small amounts, to reach our own goals.
Yeah.
It's about taking that proactive approach.
It's a great reminder that we all have the potential to create opportunities for ourselves. So, okay, you've earned some money, but now we need a safe place to keep it. Where does it all go? The source starts with something familiar to many of us. The good old piggy bank.
Ah, yes, the classic piggy bank. It's a great starting point, especially for kids, to learn about saving. It's a tangible way to see your money grow as you add coins and bills to it.
But as you start saving more, the text introduces us to the concept of banks. Banks offer a much more secure place to store larger amounts of money, and they also introduce a powerful concept: interest.
Banks are essentially institutions designed to safeguard your money and offer you a range of financial services. The text mentions checking accounts, which are great for everyday spending, savings accounts designed for holding money you don't need right away, and debit cards that give you easy access to your funds.
And interest is a way for your money to actually grow while it sits in the bank. It's like a little bonus the bank pays you for keeping your money with them.
It's a powerful concept because over time, that interest can really add up, especially when you factor in the idea of compound interest.
Compound interest is when the interest you earn also earns interest. It's like your money making more money for you. And then there's the digital world again. The source describes digital wallets, those apps and online accounts that let us store and manage our money without needing to carry around physical cash.
Digital wallets offer convenience and flexibility. They're becoming increasingly popular for online transactions and even in-person purchases.
To illustrate the benefits of traditional saving, the source tells a little story about a boy named Alex. He saved up a bunch of money in his piggy bank and then decided to open a savings account at the bank.
And as he watched his balance grow over time, thanks to that interest, he started to understand the power of saving and letting your money work for you.
It's a great lesson for all of us, right? The source suggests a practical activity here: starting your own savings bank at home with a specific goal in mind.
Whether it's saving for a new toy, a special trip, or just building up a rainy day fund, setting a goal gives you something to work towards.
It's about taking that first step and establishing good savings habits early on. Now, we've got the money and we know where to keep it safe, but what do we actually do with it? What can we use it for? The source outlines 3 main uses for money.
The first and most obvious is spending. That's when we use our money to buy the things we need and want, like food, clothes, toys, and entertainment.
Right. Spending is a part of everyday life. Then there's saving, which is all about setting money aside for future needs and goals.
It's about delaying gratification and planning for the future. It's about building a financial safety net and working towards those big dreams.
And the third use the text highlights is sharing, which can involve donating money to charities or causes you care about, or helping out friends and family in need.
Sharing is about using money to make a positive impact in the world around us.
But when it comes to spending, the source encourages us to really think before we buy. It poses a few key questions. Do I really need this? Is there a better deal somewhere else? Well, I still want this in a week.
It's so easy to make impulse purchases, right? But taking a moment to pause and ask those questions can save you a lot of money in the long run and help you make sure you're spending on things that truly matter to you.
And to highlight the power of saving, the source shares another story, this time about a boy named Ben who really wanted a new video game.
But instead of asking his parents to buy it for him or spending his allowance right away, he came up with a plan.
He decided to save half of his allowance each week until he had enough to buy the game himself. It took time and patience, but eventually he reached his goal.
It's a great example of setting a financial goal and creating a plan to achieve it through consistent saving. The source encourages listeners to do the same, to create a list of things they want and figure out how much they need to save to buy them. It's about developing a basic budget and making informed spending choices.
It's a great way to learn about planning and prioritizing your wants and needs. And this all ties into the value of money itself. It's not just about the physical bills and coins.
The source makes a really interesting point here. It says that money's value isn't actually inherent in the material it's made of. It's more about a collective agreement, a shared belief that those pieces of paper and metal have worth.
That's a fascinating idea. It's not like money is naturally valuable in and of itself. It's valuable because we, as a society, have decided that it is.
Exactly. It's a social construct. We give it value through our trust and our willingness to use it as a medium of exchange. And the text explains that the cost of things can change based on how rare they are or how much effort goes into making them.
Makes sense. If something is really hard to find or takes a lot of resources to create, it's going to cost more.
It's the principle of supply and demand at play.
Then the source talks about inflation, which is a really important concept to understand. It's the idea that over time, the prices of things tend to go up, so the same amount of money buys you less than it did before.
They give a great example. Imagine your grandma telling you about when candy bars only cost 5 cents. That's because inflation has steadily eroded the purchasing power of money over time.
Yeah, things that cost $1 when I was a kid cost like $5 now. The source suggests asking older family members about prices from the past to get a real sense of how much things have changed. It's a fun way to learn about economic history.
It really puts things into perspective and helps you understand the long-term impact of inflation on our finances. Finally, the source wraps things up with some super helpful advice on developing smart money habits.
It boils down to 4 key principles. First, save before you spend, which means making it a priority to set aside money for savings before you start spending on wants.
Absolutely. Paying yourself first is a key principle of financial success. Then there's think before you buy, which emphasizes the importance of making intentional spending choices and avoiding impulse purchases.
Ask yourself those important questions. Do I need this? Can I afford it? Will I regret this later? The third habit is keep track of your money. That's all about knowing where your money is going.
Whether it's a simple notebook or a fancy budgeting app, tracking your income and expenses is essential for understanding your financial situation and making informed decisions.
And lastly, be careful with borrowing. Borrowing money can be helpful sometimes, but it's important to do it responsibly and have a plan to repay it.
Debt can quickly spiral out of control if you're not careful. To illustrate these habits in action, the text tells a story about a boy named Noah who wanted to buy a skateboard.
Instead of asking his parents for the money, he decided to save up for it himself. He started tracking his spending in a notebook and made a conscious effort to save a portion of his allowance each week.
It took discipline and planning, but eventually Noah reached his goal and was able to buy that skateboard with his own hard-earned money.
What a great example of how those good money habits can pay off, literally. The text ends with a final activity. Start your own money journal.
It's such a simple yet powerful tool. By tracking your income and expenses, you'll gain a much better understanding of your spending habits and identify areas where you can save. It's a great way to take control of your finances.
So there you have it. We've taken a deep dive into money basics and explored the fundamental concepts of money, from its various forms to how we earn, save, spend, and share it.
By understanding these core principles, you're setting yourself up for a lifetime of financial well-being.
And while these may seem like simple ideas, they can have a huge impact on your financial future. By making a conscious effort to save, by being mindful of your spending, and by making informed decisions about your money, you are setting yourself up for success.
It's about taking control of your finances and building a secure future for yourself.
So as you go about your day, think about this. How can understanding these basic principles of money help you reach your goals and create a more financially secure future for yourself? It's not just about managing today's dollars and cents. It's about empowering yourself to make choices that will shape your financial well-being for years to come.